Got here to Camp Zappy a couple of days ago, and it's been extraordinary.
When you're doing a show about microdosing and run into somebody who's microdosing that you know is taking advantage of nature. On this episode, you're going to find out about psychedelic retreats and microdosing.
I got here to Camp Zappy a couple of days ago, and it's been extraordinary. Felt super embraced and accepted. It's been really life-changing. It was more just putting yourself out there to new things, new people, being out of my element. I'm coming from Iowa, coming clear here to California, to Malibu Hills. You're guided through how to go back into your life and understand certain things. And that's what I came here for. Look deep into who I am and how I can be a better person. Look deep into that, my soul and my mind. In my past, have been limited by your surroundings, your culture, and it's an opportunity to just let your mind go and be free and in a very accelerated, beautiful way. It was an emotional experience. I came up here not even knowing where Camp Zappy was, and the moment I got here, somebody had mentioned Canaan Row, which goes right by the Bachelor mansion. Without even knowing it, I'm back here again, doing something that's almost as life-changing as that first experience, being on national television and doing all of that in front of millions of people, just to come full circle. The Bachelor was an incredible one, and life in general was an incredible journey. Having Camp Zappy as part of it now is, Bachelor Nation and Zappy Nation.
A lot of people come to me and they say, hey, I'm interested in psychedelics, what do I do? And I say to them, you want to be in the right set and setting. And by that I mean you want to be in the right mindset and you want to be in the right setting with the right people in the right place. If you do that, you're going to have a good experience. So when I got the opportunity to go to the Malibu Hills and start Camp Zappy on 50 acres and be in nature with people right there in Los Angeles, but right in nature, that to me was the ultimate set and setting. On a Camp Zappy weekend, what we're doing is people are coming on Friday night after work and leaving at dinner time on Sunday. And by doing that, they're gonna reboot themselves. They're gonna have a total transformation weekend. And in LA, a lot of people usually are going out to the desert, drinking, doing drugs, partying in the city. This is the exact opposite. This is about going inside, being in nature, and figuring out who you are and what you want in one weekend. Most people aren't used to being in nature with trees. There's over 200 oak trees on this property, stream, a mountain. On Friday night, have everybody come after work, we'll all meet, we'll have some dinner, some music, and what we're doing that night just to integrate people initially with the experience is we do hape. Hape is a legal tobacco-based compound which basically puts you into a present moment state. Native people used to use hape before they would go out on a hunt so that they could be in tune with nature. The shaman will take this snuff and he'll blow it up your nose and you'll have this moment where all of a sudden you're forced into this breathing technique, breathing through your mouth. For about 20 minutes, you feel like you're part of nature, very in tune with it. And that's a great way to start off on Friday night. Saturday is the big day. We start off the day with a hike in nature. We're doing microdosing of mushrooms in that environment before the hike. I invited Mark to be here today because I've been to his grow in Topanga and it's amazing. He's done incredible things with frequency for mushrooms.
In the psychedelic mushroom world of psilocybin, there's three main categories. There's the microdose, which is imperceptible. There's the macrodose, which you go deep to, you go deep dive in like on 5-6 grams. You go in with attention, you go in with a facilitator. It's a whole thing to get to, the essence of who you are and why you're here. And then there's a social dose in the middle. So that is a dosage that is perceptible, but it's light, it's fun, and you can function and everything. So that's quickly replacing alcohol I think is kind of going to be the new future of where we go with all this stuff, because it's all about connection. You start to widen out your scope of view, and that's really where joy is. It's really where the happiness of life is. The microdosing is actually unlike any other antidepressant, which basically alters your point of view. This basically just puts you back in you. And that's the magic of it. Some people mix and match these, take this in the morning, then take this before a hike. Again, imperceptible. We have our tea. These are 750 milligrams of tea, and tea is probably one of our best sellers because you just make a regular cup of tea and you can drink the whole thing, or you can sip on it all day, which is what I do. So I kind of just stay in this like chill.
Saturday night is the big show. This is the group ketamine practice. This is a group of 15 to 25 people, all doing ketamine with a doctor at the same time. Ketamine is Schedule 3. It's legal for a doctor to prescribe. So we will have the doctor there, does an evaluation on everyone, and everybody who's cleared for the ketamine, we will then put together in our group circle, and we will set what we call a group intention. And that is beyond your individual intention. Your group intention is something that we want to put out for society, something that the group can learn and share. We'll lay there for about 45 minutes having this incredible experience. And once the ketamine's over and you start to come back into your body, we'll lay there for another 45 minutes to an hour just in the best meditation of your life. In the morning on Sunday, we wake up, we have some high frequency food, we'll do yoga, breathing, really help people to kind of ground the experience. And then from there, what we're gonna do is we're going to have an integration circle. When that's over, people are breaking off into little groups, and I've seen friendships for life happen from these events. I've seen businesses evolve right there. And we're letting people just be in community. These are the people who you journeyed with. It's almost like you went to war with them. So afterwards, they're gonna be your feedback loop, and they're probably gonna be friends for life. Monday morning, we want them going back to work a completely different person, physically, mentally, and spiritually, in a higher frame of existence. And that's what a retreat's about. That's what a Camp Zappy weekend's about. As a documentary filmmaker, there's so many great moments that don't make it into the films. Today, I wanted to go back in the vault to a moment in Peru with Michelle Rodriguez. And in this time, you get to see her really in her spirit.
It's time to make a wish, 11:11.
Adelante.
Put your wants, your desires, and your wishes out in the universe.
You get to see Michelle call the condors, and guess what? They came.
Michelle's bringing the condors, which are the most sacred birds.
Not me, they are.
Come on, give it to us. I know you're bringing them. One more.
Quite pterodactyl. Yeah, it's a Jurassic Park. I turned around looking for a raptor or something.
That's awesome.
Look at the rainbow. Look at the rainbow.
Where?
Yeah, a little. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Today I want to talk to you about microdosing, specifically microdosing psilocybin mushrooms. I get all kinds of interest and people coming to me asking me about microdosing, but really just not knowing how to start. So what we want to do is show you how simple it is to begin microdosing. The things you're going to need are your mushroom, a coffee grinder, a scale, and some peanut butter. It's that simple. The benefits of microdosing are enormous. Creating neuroplasticity over time is the reason for microdosing and for quite a bit of why people do psychedelics. And what you want to do is take what is considered a sub-perceptual amount. So normally when you're gonna take mushrooms, you take a big amount of mushrooms to have a big experience. But with microdosing, you're taking a tiny amount, so you just get this underlying energy of joy, maybe focus. These things are what you're looking for. This is a regimen that people do. They'll take that in a protocol. They may take that 1 day on, 1 day off, 2 days taking mushrooms, 2 days off. Some people even take 5 days of mushrooms and they'll take the weekend off. The safest thing to do when you're microdosing is always to start small. With any psychedelic, you really want to start as small as you can. This is a 1 gram of mushrooms. So this would be the equivalent of taking a good dose where you would really have an experience. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna grind this up and we're only gonna take 1/10 of a gram. And you're gonna see how very little that is. And that's why this is so cost effective. You're talking about 1 mushroom that's gonna make 10 doses. So if you were doing it 3 times a week, this would last you more than 2 weeks. Some people say microdosing is going to eliminate antidepressants in the future, because when your brain is neuroplastic and you're in that kind of good state like that, when bad things happen, which they always do, it's gonna come at you and hit this neuroplastic, not these rigid patterns, and it's just gonna flow right through. But I realized that on the days in between, my decision making was really clear. And I started to realize that I wasn't just doing the microdose for the day that I'm doing it, it was actually for the days in between. And that's the power of these psychedelic medicines. They're from the ground, they're from nature. Nature's extremely intelligent. What we're gonna do is, we're just gonna pop it into our grinder here. You can break this stuff up. Let me break this down. I'm just gonna rip it up, rip the stem. I like to get a little bit of stem and a little bit of the cap. They say the stem is more of a body high and the cap is more of a mental. So you want to get a little bit of both there, pop it in there. It's going to grind it up into a powder. You're going to take your mushroom powder, and I'm going to put some here on the plate, just a little bit, so we can see what we've got. This is 1/10 of a gram. So this, as you can see, this is a very small amount. We've got quite a bit more. Put some peanut butter right on the spoon here, and I'm gonna dab it up. I'm gonna get all that stuff, get it on the peanut butter. This is a microdose. You know that you're taking 1/10 of a gram, and this would last you about 6 hours. And you're gonna have, as I said, a sub-perceptual experience, not something that you're supposed to know is going on. If you start feeling like you're tripping, you took too much and you're gonna wanna take less. It's as simple as that, and bon appetit. I'm gonna chew this up. You definitely wanna have some water nearby, because this is, okay, so. Now that I've taken my microdose, I'm ready for the next 5-6 hours just to have a little more energy, a little more joy, and continue to build that neuroplasticity for when I really need it. So psyched. The universe put you here right now. This is so cool. It's so great. When you're doing a show about microdosing and you run into somebody who's microdosing that you know is taking advantage of nature and being in nature, you know, really very intentionally in nature. Because I know there's a lot of places you could be at different times, but you choose the beach and the nature instead of an office somewhere
Sure.
kind of cooped up.
However, I am looking at an office spot.
God. When you've done your microdose and you're wondering how to get the most out of it, the answer is be in nature. So that's my best advice. After my time at the eclipse, it's got me thinking a lot about the sun and just how dependent on it we really are. So for me, I'm curious why there aren't more religions that worship the sun, because without it, there is no life here. And furthermore, whoever made the sun or whoever made man and made the universe. That's what I'm interested in, whether that's God or a simulation, but at some point there has to be intelligence there, so I'm grateful for it. I can't figure out why every house in Florida doesn't have one of these machines. Why would you count on the local government or a plastic water bottle company to get your water when you can harvest it right from the air? Doesn't make a lot of sense, but hey, to each their own. Cheers. Thanks for tuning into this week's show. Join us next week for another episode where we show you how to integrate psychedelics into your life for mental wellness and peak performance.